Hey guys, it's Patrick back right now, and 2 more days is gonna be me and my girlfriend's 7 month anniversary. Very happy about it. You know, I've never had a girlfriend with me that lasted that long so far. Other than that ex you might have known if you follow my social media over the past 5 or 6 years, you know. But I'm really happy she stuck with me and we stuck with each other for about 7 months so far. We're not too far from our 1 year anniversary, so let's make it happen. Make the jackpot happen, you know. And speaking of my girlfriend, this is a picture we took when we were in Puebla about 5 weeks ago. And it was actually from my Samsung Galaxy smartphone, which actually surprisingly takes pictures the same good quality like those digital cameras from maybe what, like 8, 10 years ago, you know? It's like 13 megapixels. It's 2015, and you know, if you watch Back to the Future movies and stuff like that, especially the second one where Marty McFly or Michael J. Fox's character time travels to the year 2015, you see all these flying cars and like futuristic looking buildings off the, like, you know, like from that Simpsons show Futurama or something like that, you know? And like 3D movie theater screens, you know? It's 2015 and we don't see any of the stuff you would have saw in that movie that resembled the year 2046 right now as we speak. But so far in this year alone, I only had 2 bad days. I'm not gonna lie, only 2 bad days this whole year. And it looks like this year is gonna be when I turn 30. I actually turned 30 this year in November, and I believe it's gonna get even better as this before the year ends. You know, this is gonna be my year. Whether I'm gonna be mainstream or not, don't give a fuck. Whether I change the game or make some form of impact whatsoever, this is gonna be my year. It might not be related to my music. It might not be acting in an interracial romance movie in Hollywood, but it's gonna be my year for sure. And it looks like there's some good things to come. And I'm putting my faith in God to make this year very extraordinary for me. Not just for me, but for my friends, Pitalo, and everything else, especially my mom and dad, you know. But you'd be surprised to find out if you watch this video that not too long ago in the last decade, which surprisingly, a lot of people remember the 2000s wasn't a very good decade for a lot of people. It was like their wasted years. It was a bland decade. What I'm talking about was, it might have not too long ago, even though it was maybe like, what, 9, 10, 12 years ago, or maybe even at least, maybe the least would be like maybe 6 years ago, life wasn't very good for me, actually. It was really horrible, you know. Contemplated suicide here and there, and nearly got into trouble with a lot of things, including family, friendships, stuff like that, you know. It was just not a very good time for me, you know. The 2000s was one of the worst periods of my life. From the time that I split up with one of my high school girlfriends, who I met on the internet, surprisingly, during a time when the internet was not like how it is now. This was like in November 2003. Like, there was no YouTube, smartphones, tablets, Netflix, or anything like that. It was just your basic internet service, you know. And Wi-Fi was fairly new at the time. From that time on, from November 2003 up excuse me, I'm getting a little cough right now, up until maybe up until maybe like late 2011, those were one of the darkest years I had to go through. It was almost one whole decade where life wasn't going my way. I'm surprised I did not die during those 8 years of wasted years I've lived throughout that whole time period. And of course, there are some bands and songs and movies and TV shows from the 2000s I still enjoy to this very. What the fuck? I drew it again. Sorry. Going back, there are some TV shows, music, movies, and video games from the 2000s I particularly still enjoy as of 2015. But looking back on my life, those were the times I would never want to revisit in the near future, ever want to go through again, you know, because if those were just one of the most excruciatingly painful memories I had to live up to as I got older. You know, you see me on Facebook, you see me sometimes get a little angry, carried away. Fuck this, fuck that, cunt bitch, fuck that asshole, fuck that cunt, I want to kill that motherfucker, stuff like that, you know. a lot of this happened in the 2000s. It still happens today, but it's not as extreme as it was in the 2000s. Thank God, you know. Praise Jesus for that. But it was just a really hard time, you know. I would never want to relive anything I want to experience from November 2003 up until September 2011, because if I didn't die then, who knew what would have happened, basically? I didn't really expect a lot of things to go my way in recent years, you know, because I remember, like, the day that my high school girlfriend, or who I met on findapix.com, during the early MySpace years, you know, right when it just started, but started to slowly but surely pick up, she was actually, this was, if you know, some of my high school friends are watching this video right now, but you remember around, it was like first semester of senior year, I was dating this one girl. I'm not going to give out her name, you know, all names are changed to protect the innocent, like all those cop shows you see on TV. But yeah, I was dating this one half black, half Filipino girl I met on findapix.com in late 03. It was a very tumultuous relationship from what I remembered, and right before she broke up, things were not really going our way, and it turns out she actually was cheating on me with a 26-year-old guy from Asia. Really creepy, because she was actually a minor at the time. She was 16 at the time, and I was like, I just turned 18. And it was just balls out crazy, and there's all this drama that unfolded about stupid shit, you know. We did cross paths, like, long after we broke up on better terms, but I remember, like, a lot of people, you don't know that I was actually in rehab, or in a mental hospital, like, in September 2004, right when I started college. Those were 5 days of staying in a hospital, unsure of myself, feeling defeated and all that kind of stuff, you know. And we did cross paths again, like, a month afterwards, but there was something she told me. It didn't really put a smile on my face, let's put it that way. She was telling me she had a similar experience, that she was in a mental hospital. They injected tranquilizers on her arm to put her to sleep and calm her shit down, calm her tits, you know, but it didn't put a smile on my face, because I just got out of rehab and things were still going really shitty at the time, you know. A lot of things in my life were still very bad during that time period, you know. Like, I went to City College for the first time, didn't fit in, got bullied, and I didn't tell anyone this in my lifetime, but I actually was blackmailed from this one guy who was selling CDs, or bootleg CDs, who was right near the cafeteria, because for allegedly using a fake credit card, but it was not really that case, though. The Bank of America or Wells Fargo, whatever the fuck it is, ATM machine ate my card, and he put my name on blast right in front of the whole campus, and made me look like a little bitch in front of everyone because I used a fake credit card. But it was not like that. I wish I could have done something back then to stand up for myself or confront the guy for what he did to me, but I didn't know how to defend myself back then. As I got older, the more shit people treated me with made me more of a tough guy, you know. I mean, lately I've been using punching bags, doing mile-long runs in my neighborhood. I remember, like, this is no different from the pro wrestlers you might have seen on TV. They were bullied a lot when they were growing up and treated like shit, had to do a lot of bad things in their lives that were very unfortunate, you know. But as they got older, they got buff, they got the girls, they won championships, and that's what I was trying to do as a musician and as a person, to grow from all the hardships I had to go through with people as time went on, you know. There's a lot of things from the 2000s I do not want to revisit, and I don't think I have enough time to, like, talk about it in this whole video blog. But it was one of the worst times of my life. I mean, I think pretty much the only good years I had that whole decade was, like, late 2002, 2003, excluding December when that shit started to go downhill for me, and 2009 because I was partying a lot. I was, like, enjoying my 20s, drinking beer, chilling with my homeboys, doing all-nighters, going to clubs. Then my ex happened. Surprisingly, we lasted for at least, like, almost 6 years, believe it or not. And I wonder how I was able to pull through that whole situation, you know. It was really weird, you know. Like, I mean, I still struggle with a lot of things up until late 2011. I have never really experienced anything very severe, other than the stuff I had to put up with my ex in 2013, which was, at the time, I was more stronger to handle it, but deep down, I was hurting inside. I was hurting inside because, thanks to some dumbasses from my day, they had the fucking good wives and stuff like that, nice house, good girlfriends, a lot of sex, stuff like that, and like, I'm just the guy in the corner, just like sobbing like this, like, why, God, why did I have to struggle with this shit? Why am I have to struggle with all this crap that I have to put up with most of my life? Why can't things go my way, and like, I'm not gonna lie, I did contemplate suicide many times in my past, actually. It's no surprise, but it was really, those 8 years of hardships, I had, excluding the things I did in 2009, let's just scratch that out. 2009, out of those 8 years alone, was the only years I did not struggle with anything super severe. But all those years I had from November 2003 to September 2011, it was just really hard, man. Hard as fuck. I mean, I'm not going to say nothing I did in the 2010s was hard too, but I was more mature, I was more level-headed and stuff like that, so I was able to handle it a lot better as an adult rather than as a teenager, But those are the years I don't like to be reminded of, don't want to be asked about, not even like, even like think about, like sometimes when I go to sleep, I still dream about these nasty things I went through in the 2000s, and you could call me out and say, well, the 2000s wasn't that bad. Well, maybe for you, man, but look at me, man. You for a guy who had his grandfather dying at when you were 4 years old, life is never easy, man. You're never gonna learn from anything if life was never easy, or life was easy in general, But it was, excuse me, it was just not a good time for me, It didn't make any things better when the music critics were saying a lot of nasty stuff about me, David, Jeremy, and all these other people I play with, our music, that did not put a smile on my face either. It just made me more, why, like, God, like, I'm a very spiritual guy. I used to be an atheist, but as years went on, I knew the shit I went through in my life really made me want to call out to God, basically, I was just struggling with a lot of severe things. I don't talk about this on my Facebook a lot because it still hurts, But it's me coming clean for the first time, and hopefully you use it as an inspiration to stand up for yourself, be a better person, motivate you to accomplish what you want in life, and don't take shit from anyone, because I really didn't think life was going to be that hard as time went on, but thankfully this year has been, ever since the time me and my ex broke up in mid-2014, till now, things have gotten a lot easier, actually. Aside from the financial stress of overspending, there's nothing really in my life right now that caused me to want to like grab a knife and hold it right here, or just look down from the roof where my TV antenna is installed on my house and just look down and contemplate wanting to jump down the roof and hurt myself even more, like I was Mick Foley jumping off the steel cage, But it's just, there's a lot of things in my life I don't want to look back on because it still hurts, And I haven't really forgiven a lot of people for what they've done to me, I know God tells you to forgive people and stuff like that, and be a better man up, just forgive them, love them again, But the way people treated me throughout most of my life and the way things went for me made it very hard for me to forgive other people and trust anyone or love anyone. Thankfully, the friends I have now, my girlfriend, everything that's going well for me right now taught me to love again, taught me to smile, laugh, and all that kind of stuff. And it's good, But this is not a video dissing anyone. This is not a video making fun of anyone in general. It's basically a story of what I've struggled with for the last, 30 years of my life, which started becoming very severe from the time I started middle school, but which was an on and off kind of thing, to like 8 years or 7 years of almost wanting to like just give up completely and just find yourself in a different place, And I'm just very happy that God blessed me with a good life, blessed me with blessed me with friends and stuff like that. And I'm and making Patalo being one of the few women who could actually see the good in me, It's just, I'm very thankful for it. I know some of you guys don't believe in God and stuff like that, but I have faith in what He's done for me over the past few years. Because without Him, I would have not been the guy I am today. So, and it's just things have been going my way lately, and I know I'm going to struggle with more things in the near future, or maybe 10 years from now. But I just pray and put my faith in the higher being that things don't go haywire like it once did. As long as I can do is stay positive, because life isn't easy, and just go with the flow. And this is the first time I actually came clean about some of my struggles I've been through. And I know Patala might watch this too, and some of you guys who only just added me on Facebook recently might see this. I don't want to give the impression that I had a very unhappy childhood, even though there was a lot of things that were unhappy, but I was just the guy that just wanted to change the game, like I'm trying to do now, and that's my way. That's how I want to be remembered when I die, so. Well, guys, it's been good, so I'm just gonna get me a drink, like a root beer or Coca-Cola, and thanks for watching this video, guys.